A spiritual awakening
So much.
a spiritual awakening is when you're no longer living in the dream world where you filter everything through your ego, and your ego is um, basically what questions your intuition, what questions your inner guidance, and you stop focusing on that and focusing on the future and the past. You really start to come into the present and what is currently going on. And there's an almost simultaneous awareness of your individual self and connection between that and everything else. So at this point, when you start to become awake, you will lead more with your intuition than with anything else. You really learn how to trust it during this process. And this is where an awareness of just how big the universe is. You might have like an existential crisis here, because there is a much bigger plan of your soul's purpose and what happens when your time with this earthly body is over. So that's like the key points of what a spiritual awakening is. So another thing, which was the answer to Yesenia's question, is spiritual journeys are different for everyone. So throughout this discussion, keep in mind that these are Lauren's and my personal experiences with our spiritual awakenings. Anything to add,
Yes,
Lauren?
100% agree. Yes. So also, I think a lot of people, even people in my family and my friends, they kind of confuse spiritual awakening almost with like religious rebellion. So you don't just have to awaken with religion. It's also society. I mean, it's also just, there's just, so you kind of just get out of your mind, or you just kind of notice that things of like the societal norm are not the only way to do things. I guess is the
Right.
best way of saying that.
That's
Yeah.
one of the
So,
stages that we will be talking about too, I'm
okay,
pretty sure.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So how can you initiate a spiritual awakening? This can happen unexpectedly after experiencing trauma or a near-death experience. This process that may occur through spontaneous experiences or through certain spiritual practices like meditation, prayer, contemplation, introspection. These practices awaken a sense of interconnectedness and an expanded way of being. Oftentimes, it gently integrates throughout our lives. However, in some cases, the
Yeah.
process can occur
Yes.
rather rapidly, and it can feel very intense or become disruptive to your daily life.
No, yes, exactly. And then so also it's something that okay, so hang on. It's not something that only happens once, okay? Right? So it's a process that happens in stages, kind of like the birthing process. That is so true. No,
Mhm.
okay, so there are waves of difficult inner and outer episodes, like contractions, right?
And they can be painful too.
They definitely can, right? And that's just so like you just notice certain things. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'll think about it and come back to it. But okay, so there's things that bring us a little closer to the ultimate goal of knowing and understanding our true nature and the reality around us. So noticing, I guess, noticing little shifts and noticing changes in your just daily life, noticing things that no longer serve you, like things that you have done before and you're
Mhm.
not, um, like bad habits or like,
Yes. There's
just
so much
like, okay,
more
so,
like awareness and connectedness once you start going through this.
bye, Kiara.
What?
Oh, I was talking to Kiara. I was just
Uh,
saying bye because she has to go.
she was just in
But
here and she said being more open to everything around you is what she said.
yeah,
So
and then realizing also that your way, your thoughts are not the only way. Not
mhm,
just how someone has pushed thoughts upon you, but how even your own thoughts, they're not it. So like opening your mind and like expanding it to other beliefs. Like you
yeah,
can't sit here and say like that these are the only beliefs. So that kind of happens in the spiritual awakening as well. I think, at least. But for me, it did. I
Tammy
was like, oh,
Culliver,
wow.
Tammy Culliver says that has happened to them.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, so let's see. What are the signs of a spiritual awakening? So, seeing synchronicities like 111, 222 angel numbers, or having like a song pop in your head and then you turn on the radio and that song just happens to be on. Coincidences is what most people call them, but I like to call them synchronicities because honestly, there may not be such thing as coincidences. I feel like everything serves a purpose. We just might not understand it. Also, heightened sense of sensory perception. You're just aware of everything around you. You see the world like in so much more color, and just sensing, feeling everything. Some people are like more heightened with their taste and smell. Um, like all your senses are just more aware. You may also have spontaneous mystical experiences, such as an out of body experience, sleep paralysis, um, lots of things going on. You may have visions, psychic visions, or you may see orbs, spirits. I feel like that's maybe a little bit less likely to see like a full apparition of someone, but it can
It's
happen.
rare, but it's possible for
It can
sure.
happen.
Yeah.
Also, you may have a spirit communicating with you or your spirit guides. You'll sense your spirit guides communicating with you. And this is the point where you really know that there is a deeper purpose to life.
Yes, 100% yes. Before I start listing things, though, I did have a question on here from Groovy Soul. Thank you so much for your question. It's actually really good. She was asking if we had any advice for lingering skepticism along the spiritual journey. So,
Your
as
own
far as
skepticism or others?
I think that she was talking about her own, but I'll wait for her to answer.
That's part of one of
Um,
the stages. That is,
yeah,
we will
because
get into that. So we'll
we
take
all go,
questions at the
yeah,
end, I think, because a lot of what people will ask, I feel like might be touched on. So we will take
that's true.
questions
That's
at the end. So
right. That's
let's see.
okay. Well,
Dave,
I'll just go ahead and.
hold on, let me read these comments real quick. So
Oh,
Daisy
well,
said,
okay,
doing bad
got you.
habits that no longer serve you, good and being about able to understand and be open. Yes. Able to accept the way that things are and the universe will help you grow. Mm-hmm. Sandba keeps seeing 911. And she was okay. So this person said they keep seeing 911 and they were born on September 11th. So, and
Oh,
911,
wow.
actually, I remember in my spiritual circle, what's it called? It was a class that I took to grow my intuition. One
Let's
of the
say so.
yeah, one of the people in there said, "Oh, I keep seeing the number 911," and I'm like really freaked out, like I'm afraid something bad's gonna happen. And then eventually, like they got over that fear and they looked it up, and it actually has a really nice meaning to it.
Does it?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I can't think. I'm like, off the top of my head, what is 911? I'm not real sure.
I forget.
Um,
I don't know them by heart. Okay, so you can continue. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so we were listing off the signs of a spiritual awakening, and so one of the big ones, especially for me, is, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, is meeting your teachers. So someone who knows more than you,
Hmm.
100%. So you'll meet them, and you won't be afraid of them. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but a lot of people, including myself, have a type of like social anxiety or some kind of fear of like meeting new people. But when you're on this spiritual awakening,
You're
you
drawn to
will, yeah, you are. You're definitely drawn to people, and then you're definitely like, you're gonna meet the right people. You're gonna meet the right friend group. You're gonna like match vibes with someone who is gonna help you, is gonna teach you, and is just good people that are on the same path as you. So, and then, sorry, I just got a little cough.
So we have a
Okay,
question
so,
here. San BNA wants to know if they can be their own teacher.
okay. Yeah, okay. So we
I
want to
feel
answer
like
it now?
most people go through this alone. I will say that. I feel like most people go through this alone until they reach one of the later stages of the spiritual awakening, which we will go over. Um,
Mhm.
but I mean, yeah, you can, but yeah, I don't see what's the
Right,
problem with it.
right.
Everyone's
I
different.
think you can.
Everyone's journey is different, and you really get to pick and choose what beliefs you will follow, what your goal is. So yeah, you don't have to follow anyone. And
Not
they
like
also said
100%.
after their
No.
spiritual awakening, they've met so many good people that understand them. It's like having soul
Yeah,
friends. Yeah, yeah.
I completely agree because it's like you just think differently, so you attract
Oh,
differently, especially if you're manifesting them.
Yesenia
But
said,
also, they can like really be. It can be really beneficial though to find yourself a teacher,
yeah,
even if
I
you're like the
agree.
greatest person at teaching yourself. It can be so beneficial just to look at others' perspectives, or even someone who's practiced longer than you, or who just knows a little bit more than you. It's very beneficial. So it can only
I
help you.
I agree. I also think like if you want to do something like I do and read tarot for people or be a medium and connect people with their past loved ones, then having a teacher is definitely like that's really the route you want to go because you need to learn the ethics of it. You need to learn how to
Yeah.
handle like all the energy and
Grieving.
protect
Well,
yourself.
there's a lot of grieving people too. So, there's a lot of people who like ask, especially for mediumship. So you can always be like, no, I can't do this for you right now, as I just feel for you so much. So,
Mhm.
like, I know that I would be biased towards like being kind to someone who's grieving. You know what I mean? When
Right.
that's not necessarily the case. They could be very mean people.
Um,
But
So San BNA asked, is it like I am supposed to share the knowledge? So that might be your life's purpose. It might be your life's purpose to help awaken other people or to share knowledge. It really depends. Some people don't have that life's purpose. That's not part of their soul contract. For me personally, I did get a soul contract reading done, and that is part of my soul purpose, according to a person on Etsy. So take what you want from it. That's what I
grain
was
salt.
told. Um,
Right.
so continue, Lauren. Let's get
Oh
back
yeah.
in, and we will take questions at the end.
Okay. Okay, no worries. Okay, so after meeting your teachers, and then we already went over noticing that what you've been taught isn't the one and only way. There's many different religions. There's many different perspectives. So just kind of being able to acknowledge that and knowing that um, you're not always right, because our ego is always telling us we are always right, we are always right, but that's not necessarily the case. And in a spiritual awakening, that's what we'll start to notice, that our ego is being shed, and we're not always right. But we'll get into that in a sec. So also feeling more connected to nature. So like if you are wanting to be sparing on your water, like of your utilities and stuff, if you're like, okay, I don't want to hurt the earth as much, I'm going to go ahead and not use as much water for the shower. Or you're like, I want to save the turtles. My son even was like, let's buy paper straws, mom. And I'm like, okay.
How about
So
not the straws, just paper?
yes, I mean, they're disgusting. Yeah, I'd prefer just not a straw.
Yeah.
So, because you're like literally just like paper. But, okay. So grounding yourself like in the grass, like noticing like that nature connection, noticing how it feels good and it just vibrates up your body, and you're like, I feel a sense of nature just coming to me. And then, even enjoying things like thunderstorms, like
I've
things that used
always
to be
loved.
scary. I have two, but I have known people that have changed their minds after spiritual awakening. So it's like Okay, well, you're enjoying that thunderstorm, so good for you.
I've always
But
loved
also,
thunderstorms. That's funny.
I have to. I even like when I sleep at night, I put it on like my TV. I'm like thunderstorms. I love the way they sound. I don't know. It's soothing to me. I know not everyone likes it though,
I do.
but I do too. So, okay, noticing that you want to be of service, that you want to help people, that you just want to provide for them in some way. Also, you can sense manipulation, or you can sense like jealousy. You can sense those negative feelings from other people. Once you start being able to sense those, you'll know that your spirit is awakening, because you're like, oh, I've never sensed this stuff before, but now I can see who those shady people are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I noticed that a lot. That was one of the things that I was like, whoa, I was
I
not
think that's
prepared for
part
this.
of like why you start to question everything, and your like connections with people as you go through a spiritual awakening. And when you're like, okay, I'm releasing what doesn't serve me, because you're picking up on like the
Yeah,
manipulations and
on
so
those bad vibes that you just don't want to be around too. So yeah,
yes.
and that kind of like, so then okay, so one thing I did want to kind of mention is that a spiritual awakening, it can be just spontaneous. Just sorry. Okay, so like one day you could just like wake up, you know, like you could have a vivid dream, or you could just be like drawn towards certain things. Okay. Sorry. Okay, but you can be drawn towards certain things, or a major life event could happen, like something very traumatic, something very dramatic, like a car crash or a divorce, or an illness, an NDE that happens a lot, or meeting somebody of your soul contract, like meeting your twin flame or meeting a soulmate. So any of those things can definitely be a sign. I know, right? I said this magic word.
I
But
see
those
your
can be a
little ha 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 on the
in the chat. I was
I
like,
laughed when I saw that. I was like, oh, she knows. She knows how I feel about those twin flames.
I do too. I do too. I'm just, but not everyone does. So, but basically, a desire for change and a desire to love ourselves is like the bigger picture, I guess. So that is what makes you notice your spiritual awakening. Those are signs.
Okay. So let's take questions on that for now. I'll do
Okay,
questions after each category. So
that's a good idea.
Inbra says, I've noticed that my best friend I've known for 4 years is kind of toxic. Hey, Chris, we're talking about spiritual awakening. Chris is here.
Which Chris is it? Is it
It's,
CM Chris or Chris Ross?
no, Chris Kronz.
Okay,
Or
okay.
Crows.
Hey,
It's Crows.
it's
Sorry, I've
Cross,
never
like
said
Chris.
your last name before.
Isn't it crisscross, like an X or
Oh,
something? Or,
is it Chris Cross?
that's what I thought it was. I've read it a lot. I've read it a lot.
I just say, hey,
I'm
Chris.
gonna wait. Ray, I know.
Crows. It's Crows.
Crows, like the bird, like.
LOL cross too, he says.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was a play on words. I was wrong.
So does anyone have any questions about what we just talked about? Yesenia says she has a turtle. Um, I like what Daisy said. Nature
Thank you
naturally
for the
heals us.
panda, Agent Fox.
What?
Somebody sent me a panda. I don't even know what that is.
Oh. Um, Daisy said nature naturally heals us when we are in doubt. Like it's beautiful to explore and help ourselves to stay grounded. So true.
I agree with that. Especially water. I feel like for me in particular, even though I'm an earth sign, like water is so healing for me. So I don't know.
I avoid water.
Just oh, okay. I'm not a fan of deep water. Like, let's
Oh, I
not get
don't
it
mind
twisted.
deep water. I don't know. It's a sensory thing. I just don't like feeling
Okay.
wet.
Okay.
This
I'm
changed.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're spiritual right now.
Don't
Okay.
be hurt.
Right. Okay.
Um,
I don't have any questions on this side, but
Me either.
yeah, I did get a panda, so that's pretty cool. Sorry, guys, this is our first live, so it's gonna be a little.
Yesenia's laughing at that.
Oh, okay.
So San BNA says they feel connected with certain people and feel like they would be good friends or lovers. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
no,
can
you
absolutely
definitely get drawn to others'
connect with
energy.
people.
Like even in like public, you'll notice like people who are really sad, and you're like, I don't know if I want that energy. Or you'll notice like really angry people, and you're like, I'm just gonna go. Well,
Okay,
maybe
so
depending on what kind of person you
Yesenia says, how can you tell when you're feeling your energy versus other energy?
are.
Like
Okay.
other people's energy. Honestly, a lot of people can't. So,
Yeah.
um, it can be very hard to figure out, especially if you have diagnoses of anxiety, depression, any, mental health kind of diagnosis, because you may think it's just yourself and it might not be. I've learned to discover, I have my best friend, she's got anxiety and, she's got a lot of physical health issues as well. And I always know when it's hers when I'm around her because it just like comes super quickly.
It's just right.
And
Attacks you.
usually for me, like I feel a buildup, like when it's my own, like I feel it starting to build up. But when it's other people's, I feel like it just
That's,
hits me. And sometimes
yes.
it can just
Because I was
leave.
gonna say that too. I was
Yeah.
gonna say that too. Like literally, it just like it will literally just hit you. Like
Hmm.
you'll think thoughts. You'll just be like la 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 about my day, getting my groceries. Oh man, why am I thinking about is my husband cheating on me? That's not normal. Like why am I thinking about that? Why did that just pop into my head right now? So
Yeah.
usually, and then kind of a deep like sadness in you, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, I should really protect my energy. So
Hmm.
yeah, it'll literally just hit you like that.
Special Gemini, we are talking about spiritual awakening tonight. Um, so Yesenia said that she has a hard time because she'll be fine 1 minute and then quickly feel strong anxiety energy from her best friend. The anxiety builds up for her whenever she wants to get together. Oh, so you feel it from a distance. You can
Oh
feel it
gosh,
from
yeah.
a distance. Yeah. So Yesenia, you want to do some grounding and protecting when you start to make plans with this person. Just envision a white light of protection. I like to envision it coming from my heart chakra, my third eye, and my crown chakra, just like this white, misty light enveloping you. You can also try veiling as well. A lot of people do that. They,
Yeah. I have thought about this seriously. I've never done the veiling, but I've thought about it seriously because, especially when I go into like those metaphysical shops, there is so much energy everywhere, and I'm
yeah.
like, oh, this is gonna give me a migraine. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's really good advice.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right, so let's get into the stages of the spiritual awakening. Who's making you laugh, Lauren?
One of my kids, it's Serena. They all
Of
keep
course.
coming in here in my bathroom. Mind you, we have 3 bathrooms in our house, so I'm not really sure why, but I'll ask them later.
Oh, oh, you're welcome, Yesenia. Okay, so what are the stages of spiritual awakening? It depends on where you look, what you believe, honestly, because there is so much information out there about this. Some people say there are 4 stages. Some people say there's 10 stages. Some people say there's 12 stages. So I've just kind of compiled as much as I can. And some of them can be linked
Yep,
with one another. Who knows how many stages there really are? Because, again,
it's true.
everyone's journey is different. You may not experience all these stages. You
Yep.
may not experience them in this order. Um, so if this does not happen for you, then don't think that like, oh, this, maybe I'm not going through a spiritual awakening because it wasn't like that No, everyone's is different. Um,
Yeah.
and yes. So with that said, here is what I found on the Google about spiritual awakening, the stages. So the
Yes.
first one on one source was the dark night of the soul. Um, I heard on another source that this is actually the third stage. On this one, it's the first stage. So again, it's a stage. It might not happen in order, but the dark night of the soul. I like to call this the dark night of the ego. It is not your soul dying; it's your ego dying. And
And
bringing
think
your
so
soul
dearly
to light.
that ego.
Yes. So, um, you may experience feelings of, oh, I feel like I need to go to a psychologist. People are asking me if I have depression. Uh, I was having an existential crisis. That's a big one for when you're going through a spiritual awakening because you're trying to figure out your life purpose. Um,
That and like dissociation have like,
Association.
okay, so like just looking like straight into a mirror and then you're like, I am not myself. Like if you
Yeah,
say those words, it will really it'll put you in that spiritual awakening if you haven't gone through it yet. So
yeah.
tips and tricks.
So, and then feeling like life is shallow or meaningless can be a part of it, but that goes away. So
Yeah.
the next stage,
I've definitely been through that feeling. So I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
it goes away though. But
Do you have anything to add for that stage, the stage one?
um for the
Dark night of the soul or the ego.
no, not at this time. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Yes.
Talk about
So stage two. Thanks for the fire or the finger heart. Oh,
what's
finger
that?
heart. I like that. I've never seen that one before.
I have I've had panic attacks too from it. Groovy Soul over here said that that happened to me before, and I had a panic attack. Girl,
Yeah.
I have suffered with them for a very long time, so I 100% know what you're going through. So that
Yeah.
whole existential crisis thing, I could literally talk about that for a long time. That's why I'm like, I will stay silent for a moment
Yeah.
because
So
I will
also
be
I
on here
want
all.
to add to that, anxiety, depression, like they're all very common in that first stage. Especially like
Yeah,
even if you've never experienced those feelings before, like you may be seeing depression and anxiety for the first time during the dark night of the soul. Hey Dimples, hey Kylie. So
hey guys, I remember Dimples, so
stage
she's been on your
two,
list.
you remember Kylie too.
Oh, Kylie. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of it spelled a different way.
Yeah, there's two
But
Kylies that I know of that come in here. This one's Kylie Day.
oh, okay. Hey.
Okay, so stage two, it's a ray of hope. This is what we need after the dark night of the soul. Um, in
The
this
star
one,
card.
yeah, in this one, you feel fulfillment, the movement from autopilot to conscious living. You experience synchronicities, realization of what you're going through. So you're realizing, like, oh, okay, I'm not like psychotic. I am going through an awakening. You'll have some relief of the initial heaviness and discomfort of that first stage. Believing in the possibility of finding the answers that you seek and understanding that you have a very important earthly purpose and committing to finding it. Do you have
Yes.
anything to add?
No, not to that, to the ray of hope. No, but it's just, I mean, other than, once that dark stage comes, it's not forever. Nothing is forever. So just a reminder that things will get better. Even the things that you seek they'll be there for you. So it's not forever, that dark, deep stage, because I've been there and thought that, man, I'm never going to get out of bed. But I did. So
Yeah,
also knowing that other people go through it, I don't know why that's so helpful, but it is. It's helpful to know that other people out here, they feel what you feel. You're not alone.
yeah,
Like there's many many of us. There's many, many, many of us.
And
So
now that there's a mass awakening going on as well, like you're going to find those people. It's going to be so much easier to find the people. So Daisy said, "Oh
agree.
my goodness, I was on autopilot, and when I was feeling woke, I felt like I came to a realization." Yes. Yesenia said, "Yes, after realizing that's what I was going through, it helped me not feel crazy anymore." Yes, absolutely. Um,
100%.
and then I always want to say Diva when I see your username. Daisy says, "What's my purpose on here on this earth? And also, if you lose potency of your passions, you lose yourself or who you are." Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and I
Oh,
feel like the
Angela
creative
says that,
process is so important in our soul work and our spiritual work. Like that creativity that we have deep down within us, or I mean, creating things, creating art, creating music, creating literally anything just feeds our soul. It feeds the
yeah.
goodness and just love it. Like creation is great. We fear
Angela says
nothingness.
that they are struggling. I'm sorry, Angela. I'm sorry that
That
you
makes
are
sense.
struggling. Yeah, I mean, if you're going through a spiritual awakening, like it's a
It's
big
hard.
struggle.
It's no
It's a
joke.
struggle.
It's
It gets better. It
yeah.
does get better. So
It's no joke, especially questioning everything.
the third stage
Oh,
is what, Lauren?
oh, I don't know. I think I was talking to myself, but yeah, go ahead. Inquisitiveness.
Yes, inquisitiveness. So in this stage, you're going to be doing all the things. You're going to want to learn everything. You may have the sudden inspiration to travel to India and do the whole Kundalini thing. But you really want to learn everything at this point, and I still feel like I am in this point. I don't think this one ever ended for me. Um,
I don't either.
yeah,
I'm like, yes, let me learn everything I
yeah,
can about just what
spirituality,
other
all of it.
people practice. I
Yeah,
don't want, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to know, I don't know. I just want to learn more because I've been fed the same stuff my whole life. So I'm like, wow, look at all of the beliefs out there. Look at everything that's like that I've never even noticed. Here I am, 31 years old. Like, wow, look at all these different beliefs.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to learn everything.
So also at this stage of the spiritual awakening, it's important to find what works for you, um, and really help build your spiritual muscles. Usually you don't find it, and if you don't find it, then keep looking. Usually it will take some trial and error. You may not like certain practices. That's okay to try them out and then let them go. You don't have to stay committed to one thing. Go out and explore.
Absolutely.
Let things come to you. Do you have anything to add
Yes.
for that?
No, just there's even tons of like, um, yeah, let's just go out and explore.
Yeah.
There we go. That's good. Explore,
Okay.
try new things. It's good for you.
So stage 4 is denial and inner conflict. You may feel angry and irritable in this stage, and you'll start questioning, oh, am I even spiritual? Because spiritual people don't feel like this. Spiritual people are all love and light. This is a part of the process. That's not true. um,
It, it's
it's
not.
okay to challenge your faith and wisdom. Don't let this sudden, like the irritability and everything, discourage you or prevent you from progressing onto your spiritual awakening journey. Um, in this stage, you'll feel the most overwhelmed and tired here. Your ego is really, really fighting this change.
Yeah, so get your rest and drink your water.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I was reading the comments. Um,
You're fine.
so Chris said, hold on, I'm scrolling up.
Groovy Soul, yes, kind of. It does go along with the skepticism question because it is a stage of the spiritual awakening, especially based off of this particular stage. It's stage 4. So, yes, it goes along with skepticism because we all have moments of it. What is that word that you use, Lauren? Oh God, I forget. Like when you feel that you're making this up in your head. I'm trying to think what it's
Imposter
called. Oh,
syndrome.
imposter syndrome. Yes, yes. Like
Yes,
it's such a good word.
that
Look that up. That happens
is
to all of us.
a big one. I
Yes.
go through imposter syndrome all the time. Like, I've been intuitive since I can remember. I was 11 when I recognized it though, as not something
Right.
everyone could do. And I still get feelings of imposter syndrome. Like I just did a reading the other day and like I hit something like the nail right on the head with my intuition with that reading. And I went to tell Lauren, I was like, oh my gosh, I just did a reading and I got something like so accurate just because um,
No.
it never fails to amaze me every time it happens.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Like, because it's just, I feel like it's something that just we all go through. Eventually, maybe it will be shed. I'm not really sure. But the skepticism, I'm trying to think, is that ego? I don't think it's ego. I think it's more of just how maybe you're just a cautious person in general. Maybe. Don't take
Yeah,
my word for it, though.
that makes sense. Hold on one second.
You're fine.
Got a random text message. No one ever texts me. um,
Neither. Neither. So. Your intuitive reason. People are saying it's accurate. Okay. Okay. So you know exactly what imposter syndrome is. Got you. Got you. Oh, and you're a very cautious person. Great. Right there with you. I know the feeling. So yeah,
mhm. Yeah,
we all feel it. So sometimes that helps to know.
yeah, definitely. All right. So then stage 4. Oh, wait, we just did stage 4.
Stage five.
My B. All
Yeah,
right.
we're on stage 5.
Stage 5, the spiritual makeover. So at some point, you will receive enough signs, enough synchronicities, enough divine guidance to know that this isn't a coincidence anymore. This isn't a coincidence anymore. I'm not doing readings today. It says spiritual chat, not readings on my little info box there. Um,
Thanks for being here,
what?
though. I said thanks for being here, though.
Yeah. Sorry. I get annoyed that like I can't go live and just talk without people thinking that I have to give a reading, Like I'm a
It's
person
fine.
too. There's my stage 4 coming in, the irritability. um,
Let that
anyway,
go, girl.
thank you, Chris. Yeah, because I just have like a bunch of people now asking. So
Oh, okay.
I gotta be a little bit bratty about it. Anyway, so your spiritual journey will really kick in this point because you'll realize that things are not a coincidence anymore, and it'll be like experiencing a crash course on evolution. Everything happening all at once, being rapidly pushed through the tunnel towards the bigger light. At this point, you can experience a sense of self-awareness arising, the guilt and shock of things making you rapidly start reevaluating and changing behaviors to be in alignment with who you really are. Also, there is a lot of old preferences and hobbies that will shed off, and you'll gain new interests. You'll also grow conscious of those around you that you are still living on autopilot or that other people are still living on autopilot and consequently repel them sometimes. I feel like I kind of did that today.
Yeah, that definitely happens. That it really does. And you'll feel angry and maybe even sad whenever you kind of look at the world and you're like, man, I wish the world wasn't like this. I don't know how else to explain that, but if you feel it, you know, because you see like so much stuff is going on right now that we have no like individual control of. So it gets a little overwhelming. And then you'll want to help everyone. You'll jump on this spiritual boat, but quickly realize that you can't make other people heal. that so there's going to be feelings of sadness and rejection, even rejection, same thing.
Ejection.
Right. So you may experience a deeper sense of emotional sensitivity, which kind of sucks. Emotional sensitivity, not the best feeling, but it does happen to a lot of us. And you'll find yourself avoiding crowded places to protect your energy. Like there's only so much that you can do, right? So
Let
there's
me
only so
say
much you can
that
do.
quarantine has been amazing for me. I don't mind not leaving my house.
Right, right. A lot of people are like that too. No, I even feel that because at first I was like, man, this sucks. But now I'm like, you know what? I think I'm okay.
Mhm.
Now that everything's opening back up.
Yes. So Yesenia asked, is this where shadow work comes up? And no, I don't. I mean, shadow work can be at any stage. You can do that at any
Mhm.
stage. Um, I don't feel like I feel like the reasons that you're experiencing these things are because there hasn't been shadow work done yet. I feel like that
Or
might be
enough
coming in the
shadow.
next
Yeah.
stage. Let's
Yes.
see. Hold on, let me check my comments real quick.
Okay.
Oh, see you later, Chris.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so Daisy, for me, as long as I have access to nature, I'm good. Yes. I'm not super connected to nature. Surprise, surprise. Um,
Which is fine.
that's funny. There is a TikTok trend where it's like, but you're a garden fairy. And then I should
Oh
be like,
yeah.
I'm gonna make that video. I'm gonna
Okay.
do that.
I can't wait to see it.
I
I've
just
actually seen that movie. It's a Tinkerbell movie. So yeah.
Okay, so Yesenia said, okay, for me, it all happened at the same time. Yeah, like we said, it happens different for everyone, and you can have like a sudden awakening without experiencing all the stages at once, usually after something traumatic, near-death experience, you know, something big. For me, it happened all at the same time, spiritual awakening and shadow work. Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Yeah,
So, step
definitely.
6. Stage 6, spiritual ego. So this is where your feelings of pride start to set in. And it's not like good pride, it's kind of cocky pride. You may feel like, oh, I'm rare because I woke up, but not everyone has. Or you're better than those that don't live life consciously. Some people
Yes,
don't.
our ego loves spiritual work.
Yeah,
Our ego loves spiritual work.
yes. So, some people don't deserve your attention anymore because you're on another level. Some people are just too toxic for your divinity. Um, and you don't belong here. You're actually an old soul that's just here to help other people. All of those thoughts that go through your head, that is your spiritual ego. So your natural ego kind of like died through that last stage, but now you got a spiritual ego. So we need to get rid of this, right? And we can do that
Right.
with shadow work. Shadow work, but
Shadow work.
yes, so also you may also experience spiritual bypassing, and this is believing that fear is an illusion and that love and light is all that there is, therefore escaping negative emotions or being unwilling to deal with your shadow self. So this is where
Right.
shadow work, it's
It's
like
all
really
your ego
important
talking.
to start integrating that. So well, a special Gemini said, BS, no one is better than me. Yeah, I guess you just don't have a spiritual ego. Like you've worked through, you may have skipped the stage, you may have, you're with it. But special Gemini is interested in shadow work, yes. We will be probably covering a spiritual Sunday on just shadow work.
Oh my gosh, yes, because there's so much to go with it. It's like you can't talk about it. I feel like I can't even talk about it to my friends like in like 30 minutes. I'm like, okay,
Right.
this is what I did today. Like, okay, this is how I'm working on myself.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh no, I know what you meant, special Gemini. Like I know that you were saying that you don't feel better.
Thank you, Ghost. I appreciate that. I tried to look like a little alien today. I was like, yeah, let me look like an alien. She said she likes my hair. A ghost witch.
I wonder if there's a delay between us because I feel like I'll be talking and then okay, maybe.
I think there's a little one, but it's okay. Technology. Oh, you're a dude. I'm sorry. But thank you for the compliment, anyways.
Yeah. Okay, so stage 7. This is grounding and getting serious. So sooner or later, your first reality check will hit you, and at this point, you understand that you've been goofing around, and getting the spiritual stuff all wrong. So this is where the shadow work comes in. So far, the journey was on and off. You weren't committed, and in this stage and the upcoming stages of the spiritual awakening, you experience yourself getting into a serious relationship with the universe and its magic. Some people consider this the mysticism phase.
The mysticism. Ooh, that's a hard word. Just mysticism.
Yeah. So you may begin to realize that you are fully accountable and let's see, fully accountable for clearing out your karmic debts and taking the plunge towards enlightened experience. The universe is always helping you attain enlightenment, but it is your choice how fast you want to learn the lessons being taught. Lauren's turn.
Yeah. um, hang on. Oh, great. So, I need to take a sip of water real quick. Hang on.
Yeah.
So
Let's collectively drink some water.
I said water. I drink a Red Bull. Hang on.
That wasn't water.
I know. I reached for what was the closest. So, cheers. What is karmic debts? That is a great question, Groovy Soul. That has to deal with your belief in your past lives. So a lot of karmic debts are accumulated from your past life and they carry on over. So you might have like superly wronged somebody in your past life, and then it's such a strong emotion, such a strong thing that happened that it carries over into this current life. But we'll go in depth on that more on another day. But that is a really good question. I did want to
Yeah,
say
I
that.
didn't. Hold on, let me take that note down.
Okay.
I'm gonna add that to.
Add it to the questions. Yeah. No, that's really good.
All right. So you can go
Thank you,
ahead.
Agent Fox, for the panda. I got a panda. I don't
Nice.
know. Okay. Oh, so it's my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
So no one's journey is better than the others. Okay. So we're all one here to experience our duality and expand the consciousness of existence. So our key objectives are to heal ourselves and to help others heal in their journey. So that actually helps you more. So when you're helping somebody else, that heals your heart or your soul, just within you.
Absolutely.
It heals you more.
100%.
So yeah. Stage 8.
So stage 8, coming out of the spiritual closet. Coming out of the spiritual closet. So it can surprisingly take quite a long time for most of us to begin openly talking about what's going on internally with us, with our loved ones. For most people on their spiritual journey, they feel isolated and build a tribe outside across the world, more likely than the person that is sitting right next to them. Yeah, so like Lauren and I have connected.
I'm on the stage for sure.
Yes, all of you wonderful people, we have connected, and we might not be able to tell our best friends or our parents or our hopefully not your husband or wife, because,
Right.
I
You
mean,
live with them and it's hard to hide.
yeah, it would be hard to hide that, because I feel like you need a lot of hermiting, a lot of introspection and isolation during this time. So it might
Yeah.
be a little bit suspicious if you're going through this and just like hiding from them basically, and they don't know why.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but it will become easier to share the journey with strangers across the world, and the people that you care about as time goes on. You'll be much more confident in it. Um, so, what else? Eventually, you'll experience this as deeper healing and undergo the transformative phases, and you'll learn how to balance out the physical and spiritual realities. You'll find yourself more and more comfortable talking about your interests, whether it's in meditation or burning sage. This is also the stage where many like aspiring spiritualists, start stepping away from their daily jobs and having serious thoughts about starting their own holistic health professions,
Yeah,
or tarot reading. So,
exactly.
I mean, I've
Getting
been
into
through
the
this phase, clearly. Um, so, understanding this need for a community, there are sources out there that can help you. And TikTok is amazing. Why is this app free? Come follow me and Crown of Destiny, and we can be your spiritual tribe. Let me catch up on the comments here. We've got a bunch coming in. Let's see.
Really?
All right. Oh, hi, Chinzia. Let's see. It's why you try to help others these days. It's natural to you. Too much karmic debt.
Yeah. So
Okay, let's see. Yesenia, yes, me too. It's so blessed that my husband is so supportive with my spiritual process. Yeah, same here, Yesenia. Um, so Chinzia, yes, my parents think spirituality is evil, so it's difficult. I can understand that. Thankfully, everyone I've talked to about it has been supportive. My in-laws are kind of like, okay, that's weird, but all right. They don't have anything
right.
negative to say though. So, and they don't think it's like evil. I mean, my mother-in-law might, but whatever. Um, let's see. Special Gemini. I have this little guy on the shoulder that says, "Stop, help this person." Oh yeah, that might be one of your spirit guides. Yesenia, I feel more safe to talk to you about this than to my best friend. Hopefully I get to that stage. And Yesenia, some people won't ever necessarily get to that stage with specific people. It's all about vibration. It's all about, and this is kind of where the spiritual ego comes into play. Like, oh, they're not woke yet. So I need to find someone else to talk to about this. Do you understand? Like, it's like not everyone in your life is meant to share the experience with.
A
Um,
100%. Yes. We can love them still and then just love them from afar because I'm not saying go and drop all your friends or anything. Definitely not. But when we awaken, we feel, I don't know, you kind of feel like you can either save somebody or you can't. And you kind of feel that. You're like, I can either talk to them about this or I can't. So if you're disconnected to them in that spiritual journey, you're not going to have a lot to share because you're going to get excited because you found a crystal, or you're going to get excited because you had a vivid dream and you want to tell them about it. And then they're going to be like, okay, you're crazy. So
mhm.
yeah, that's in my experience. That's what has happened. But I did have a comment that said I had a friend who dropped me when I told them I didn't find peace in the church and wanted to self-heal. Yeah. So I have a very similar experience. I grew up in a very Southern Baptist area. So church was a big trauma for me. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're just
I was raised Catholic, and I never agreed with Catholicism. When I was like 13 or 14, I switched churches and got myself baptized, at that church. You don't hear about a lot of young teens. thinking like, oh,
Right.
let me go pick a
Thinking
church
like
I
this.
like out and go get
Right.
baptized. But that's just how
Right.
much I did not feel comfortable with the Catholic Church. Um, so I can totally relate to that.
Yep. Yes, that Southern Baptist life that I had lived, it was very, and my, so not so much my mom, but my dad more so is the one
Mhm.
that's like, this is evil. Okay, whatever.
Yep.
I'm grown.
All right, we've got two more stages left. The
Ooh,
ninth stage is walking your purpose. So when your spiritual journey begins, this initial turmoil and helplessness goes away. It will go away. But for most people, there's still a feeling that something is missing. Um, you might begin to realize how you'll be giving back to the world with your own unique skills, and the remainder of the missing dots will connect for you. Um, let's see, where else am I going with this? Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't have.
I know this one I kind of went off the rail with this part because I didn't have time to finish it. Yeah, so this is the one where like you don't want to work a 9 to 5 job anymore. You know that there's like such a greater purpose to life. You'll discover that time is a human construct and that it doesn't really exist. All your past, present, and future are actually in alignment with each other. Lots of crazy
If you think
stuff.
about that too long, like
We're
your
not
brain will
getting into
explode.
that tonight, but lots of crazy stuff like
Right.
that. Stage 10, the last stage, mastering spiritual lessons. So this is where old patterns begin to resurface. It can almost feel like you're becoming unspiritual. It's this kind of like a cycle. You may feel like you're going through a second spiritual awakening at this last stage. Um, it's an unpleasant feeling to have at this stage because as you walk into your purpose, you almost want to feel like Buddha and serene, calm, with effortless, everything effortlessly under control. But if you look deeper, something magical is happening. Life brings these lessons, and we feel like we have overcame them a long time ago, but it will pop up to remind us of our failures and to help us clean out our act in a deeper, more refined way. So anger and compassion, two lessons that I'm struggling to work on right now. Not so much compassion, but I can be a hothead a lot of the times. um, so those feelings, they still
No.
come up for me. I complain. Like, yes, I am love and light, but I very much understand like these negative parts. That's not all I am. Yes, I add love and light to all my videos because I love that and I want to spread love and light, but I get angry, I get irritated, I get impatient. Um, that doesn't mean that they go away, and they will pop up to remind you of the lesson to work on it. Thank you, Yesenia. Yesenia sent flowers. It's
So I
like
have a comment.
it was a
Oh,
box of
so
flowers.
sweet. I love her. Oh, cool. I have a comment from Groovy Soul that says, yes, I've been feeling like I'm insane because I know that almost everything is a human construct.
Yeah.
You are awakening, my friend. You are deep into that journey.
What
So
was that, like stage
yeah.
3?
I think in this list, yes. However, I feel like that one's like a deeper, farther stage, but that's just my thoughts on it
Yeah,
because
like I said, it's all, you can find
yeah,
a ton of different information of um how many stages there are. There's 4, there's 10, there's 12, there's 16.
exactly,
Who knows?
exactly, right?
Everyone's experience is different, and that's just to give you a little bit of information of the types of senses that will come up, the types of thoughts that will come up. Um, doesn't happen in this order. Everyone's journey is different. This whole process is not linear. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. You're going to feel one day like a spiritual goddess, and the next day you're going to be like, F
I
the
am
world,
nothing.
F everyone. It happens.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
So,
So
and that was number 9, right?
that was 10. That was the last one.
Oh, that was 10. That was okay. Okay, cool.
Right? Was it? Or was it 10?
Yes.
Yes, mastering
I
spiritual lessons. That was 10.
okay.
Yes.
I was gonna say I only have 8 on here, so I don't know.
Oh, thank you, Chris. What are all these new cool gifts? Chris sent like these.
Right.
Chris
Did you get
sent.
a panda?
No, it wasn't a panda. It was like this, like confetti, but it was like, ow, it just bumped my elbow.
Spiritual
Um,
goddess.
oh, what was that? You sending it? Amazing. Oh, it's like one of those emoji ones.
Yeah,
This is
I
cool.
remember seeing those whenever I was
Confetti.
like
Send it
moderating.
again. It's like cotton candy colored though. So
I'm so
cool.
jealous. I can't even see it. I have to watch it later to see.
Yes, and yes, and laughing. I love this. I love that TikTok updated it. It's so exciting.
Yeah, I know. Update our list.
So
Um,
now we are going to talk about our personal experiences with our spiritual
hey
awakening.
Chris, I have crisscross over here.
Chris
Or
came to
crisscross.
come gift
Yeah.
you.
Hey. Okay, do you want to go first?
Yes, because I'm sure that Chris is going to be sending you some confetti or something.
Oh, he did. He sent me something, but it didn't like rain on puke. He sent me puke.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
our personal experiences. So for me, I made the conscious decision that I wanted and needed to change.
Hearts.
Um,
I got hearts.
this was my conscious decision. Like I said, I mean, I
Thank
might have
you.
missed part of my spiritual awakening and not recognized it because I have had a lot of trauma in my life. My dad died when I was 5 and he was my best friend. So I may have been through like the spiritual awakening when I was younger and not even realize it. And I don't really remember my childhood because of the trauma. So I can't say when exactly it started because I was young, but a second
But you know
spiritual,
you were young.
yes, a second spiritual awakening. For me, I made the conscious decision that I wanted and needed change. I was in a pretty dark place and I had been through a lot of ups and downs. I knew that I must have a greater purpose and I knew that there must be a lot more to life than the timeline of events that I have seemingly no control of. Did I lag or was that just you, Lauren?
It's me. It's
Okay.
me. I keep getting a phone call. I sent
Oh,
you a chat.
okay.
Go
Um, So, yeah, I knew
ahead.
that there was more to life than just the timeline of events that I had seemingly no control of. I committed myself to trying to find that purpose. And I started meditating regularly, doing breath work, learning about all the healing properties of crystals, and hoarding them. Calling on my spirit guides for guidance. I had to let go of my ego and let my intuition take the driver's seat. I've come to realize that shadow work will be a never ending part of my journey. And I've learned to embrace those shadow parts of myself because that's what makes me who I am. I get a lot of intuitive
Awesome.
messages in my dreams. So dream journaling was something very insightful to me. And I really had to start to take in the world around me at all times. When asking for signs from your guides, there needs to be, or wait, sorry, I lost where I was. When asking your guides for
It's okay.
signs, there needs to be an awareness of everything around you to be able to catch them and figure out what they may mean. Um, then I started manifesting, setting intentions with things, and releasing all expectations.
And it worked, didn't it?
Yes.
I don't know how to explain it, but I just know, like, when you said you started manifesting stuff, like when I started my spiritual journey and I was like used to a certain religion that hadn't really heard me. And then once I started my actual journey, my spiritual journey, those beings, those people, they heard me and they helped me immediately. So that's how I was thrown into it. But to skip into that, that's why I never heard guides or anything. I've only had like intuitive realizations. Okay, yeah, no, your spirit guides are there.
Yeah,
So
everyone has spirit guides.
they wholly love you and they wholly want the best for you and they want you to reach your higher self. So I'm always an advocate for spirit guides and communicating with them. And the best ways are like divination. But I mean, if you're not into that, have someone read for you.
Or meditate. You can meditate and communicate with them.
That's true. That's true.
Yesenia said, oh my God, that's what I'm realizing. Shadow work is a forever journey. It really is. It will never be done. Hi, Islander.
Hey, I know Islander. I remember her name. I'm always the one saying that you're on the list. Okay, so let me explain mine real quick. One of my friends is having an existential crisis, so I may have to go. But I will explain my spiritual awakening real quick because it's so important. Okay, so my journey was a little bit different. I was thrown into sleep paralysis. That was kind of, so I'd been into astrology, but like when I was very young. I'd been into, I had a different religion, which was completely different. But once I had that first, once I had that first like attack of sleep paralysis, let me just explain this to you really quick so that you understand what this is. So it's basically when, like scientifically, it's when you're like, your body is still asleep, so you're still like paralyzed, like because you're asleep, so your body's protecting itself from whatever. And then but your mind is awake. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see I get even like choked up talking about it because it's so scary. You see like a very dark entity, and you see like almost like a demon. And I know that it sounds insane, but this happened to me.
Projection, I'm pretty sure.
So that's what I kind of thought that it was. Like later down the line when I actually learned about it, because the first time it happened, I was 16 years old. So I was just like, oh my God. Like, so I woke up and then I was staring, like it just looked like a demon with red eyes was just coming towards me, just coming to like sit on my chest and like, I don't know, suffocate me. And I'm like, all right, I guess this is the end. But I woke up out of it.
All right,
like you can still see your room.
My sleep paralysis is a lot different and a lot less scary than that.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I'm like, okay, I need to wake up, and I can't, I'm like physically paralyzed. I can't move my body, I can't open my eyes, and I'm just like, okay, it's really time to wake up now, but I can't, like, but I'm not like, seeing things.
Like you don't see anything? Okay. Well, that's good. That's good for you. Me, I definitely see things. They're always there. I haven't had one time where something wasn't there, and so I'm always telling myself, am I still your mother? Yes, I'm still your mother. My daughter's on here. So anyways,
Go to bed.
I know.
It's 10:30.
Okay, so it is. So I was thinking that I was crazy, right? Because I had no idea that other people experienced the same thing. And when I found that out, that's kind of what it kind of made me connect to other things. Like I was noticing, okay, so this was not of this world. Like the physical reality world that I had known, this was not of that world. So I had to figure out where it came from, what I was doing. Is this astral projection? I don't know. Is this a dark entity? I'm not real sure. But at that point, because you can't do anything when your body's paralyzed, you're just like, okay, cool. Guess there's a demon here, whatever. But so past that point, so then let me see. That's what made me question everything. And then that's when I started diving deep into everything, anything I could get my hands on, like divination, anything about the spiritual world, anything about other realms, just all of it. So I learned meditation and how to clear and strengthen my mind. And I would get dream messages. Okay, so my husband's family live on a completely different island. I've never ever met them because they live in a very small island called Palau. And it's very expensive to go over there. Something like Samoa. But I've never been over there. I've never met any of them. But I would have dreams about his family, and I would have very vivid dreams about meeting his mother, who isn't alive. So it's just like, I don't know. Dreaming is a very, or sleeping is a very realistic thing for me. Like having these vivid dreams, having these astral projections, whatever they may be, they are what really woke me up to looking inside everything else that's offered in this world. So, I learned about the power of manifestation and creating your own reality, and I started to shed those closed off thoughts that, because of the religion that I was in, I started to shed all of those closed off thoughts that I had, because I was very afraid of tarot. I was very afraid of psychic mediums. I was very afraid of all of them. But I kind of shed that idea. Yeah, I was afraid of it because of just what I had been taught,
Right.
was that they were evil. So I was like, okay, they're evil. I can't go there. But I was still very interested in them. So I had started to dive deep into divination, especially pendulum. It is one that I connect with more than anything. And I do tarot. I also read with oracle cards, and I do work with deity. So I know a lot of people ask like how that is, but I have a specific deity that I work with. And so once I started that, I saw so much growth, and I saw so much peace within myself, that I was like, there's no way that I'm not on the right path. So I don't know, that's just kind of how I started awakening and finding everything. But yeah, so I don't know. And then I met Lauren, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on the right path for sure. I met my teacher.
I'm your teacher.
Just a really good friend that understands me. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's really helpful when you know somebody who's on the same path as you, I think.
Yeah, it definitely helps too, especially if you don't like your normal group of friends and everything. Like if you can't talk to them about this, like you can still form a really close connection with someone that you meet on TikTok.
Miles and miles and miles away.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
So,
Yes.
was that all of your spiritual journey that you want to speak
Well,
about?
I did. Okay, so I do also. So I noticed that I had the gift of clairaudience, and I know Lauren knows how to say all these words, but I'm always bad at them. So clairaudience, I know, is the gift. I always hear things
Clear
in the
hearing.
side of my. Yes, and it's specifically this ear. I'm always hearing messages in this one, and I'm always hearing songs. I'm always hearing voices. I'm always hearing all these things, and I get like my head can even get like overwhelmed because of it. So I have that. Does ringing count? Ringing definitely counts. I get a lot of ringing, um, even from just like live videos. Sometimes in Lauren's videos, I'll like hear a lot of ringing, and I'm like, what is going on? There's someone's energy is not right. But yeah, so I get these messages all the time, and I've learned to accept them. I've learned to like listen to them, and then kind of like meditate on what is happening and what the message might be that's being portrayed. And if it's a spirit guide, if it's a entity, if it's like someone else's energy. And let's see, what else did I have? Oh, and I already said that I work with a deity, but yeah, that's it. Just because it's, I feel that I work better with having a matron, having a patron that I can ask guidance from. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know my spirit guides, or some of them at least, so it definitely
Right.
helps knowing who they are. I also, this is something I didn't touch on, but you reminded me, I also have clairaudience, which is clear hearing, clairvoyance, clear seeing, claircognizance, which is just knowing things and not knowing how you know them. That's my strongest one. And then clear feeling, which is clairsentience. I don't really have the clear smelling or clear tasting. I don't even know the names of them. But occasionally when I'm like practicing mediumship work, I will pick up on how someone smelled, or like tasting fresh baked cookies. And it turns out that that was like spot on for that person who had passed away. So Mela is here now, and Mela says, "Hey, oh my
Hey,
God, you guys are beautiful. Sorry I'm late." And then Yesenia said, "Oh my God, yes, I've heard ringing in my ear too, but not sure what to make of them." Yeah, so that can definitely be a sign. Um,
of clairaudience. Yeah.
for me, I've always had ringing in my ear. I can't hear out of this one, and I get ringing. The only thing I can hear in this ear is ringing, basically. So the ringing never goes away for me, but occasionally a big buzzing ringing will
Chris
come into my
Cross
ear.
has it too. He said
Sorry,
he has that. Sorry, Chris Cross. He said that he has that gift as well. That he has the ear ringing. Um, why do you say he? Anyways, but yeah, he was. He's also one of our gifted. Okay, the clairaudience. I understand you. It's not fun. Honestly, you kind of think you're going crazy, and also, like I said, it can all like overload my head, and I'm just
yeah,
like, ow, I got a
it can be
migraine.
very overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Salt baths can help with that. Salt baths, just having a ritual of winding down, grounding yourself, putting up a protective
Mm-hmm.
aura, veiling, those all can help. And we probably will be talking about those on a spiritual Sunday chat next month or
Yeah,
in the future months. Maybe we should do more than once a month for this on Sundays.
maybe.
What do
I
you
mean, if
think?
it like it seems, I don't know. I have two people over here, so they've been here the whole time. So I'm like, I think they're enjoying it. I'm not real sure, but you
Yeah.
get migraines with no explanations all the time. Any advice? Okay, so I do as well, Groovy Soul. I get migraines mostly because of the extra overload that I get empathically. Is that a word? I'm not sure, but so you veil. See, I have never tried veiling. I had like somebody suggested to me, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. But I like just protect my energy. I shoo away bad energy, and then I do grounding, and then like I said, water is very healing for me. So even just a shower is like it helps. But no, I cannot find anything, even any medication that will help with migraines. I just have to sit in a dark room and suffer. So
Yeah,
sorry, that's
terrible.
I'm sorry, that's not helpful, but it's just a reality
Everyone
for
is
me at least.
everyone's saying, "Oh my God, yes," to the more spiritual Sundays. Yesenia,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, Yesenia said, "Let's make it a party, spiritual party." Mela says, "Yes." Daisy agrees.
Yay.
So we may have to twice a month, maybe.
Reiki on it. Okay.
We'll
I
think
think that,
on
that
that.
that's perfectly fine for me. I just got a message from Chris. He said do Reiki on it. And is that like your third eye or is it like hang on? What's
Reiki
right here?
is energetic healing.
So what would it be like if it's my ear? Like what chakra would it be? That's what I was trying to figure out. Is it third eye or is it like
You don't have
top
to
head?
really do
Throat?
for Reiki. I don't think you need to align it with like a chakra, but I feel like
Oh, okay. That's what I thought Reiki healing was with chakras. Maybe I'm just wrong.
no.
It's just energy work.
I
Okay.
feel like it would be your crown chakra though, probably for, well, it could be third eye and crown.
Right. I'm like, it's all over here. We can just feel it all. I'll go
Mela
with that.
says, Mela says no, do it every Sunday.
Every Sunday? Okay. Good to
I
me.
gotta give my girl a night off though. She's on here every night moderating for me. She's amazing.
I do. I think that all these like all of your like people who are always what are they called? People who are always on here. Loyal followers, I guess
Yeah,
is what you call them. They're just always so
I
they're so great.
I like to call
You
them
wrote
my
Twitter.
notification gang of who like pops
Oh, I
in
love
right as soon as I go
like your yeah.
So what happens after a spiritual awakening? You may have an increased tendency to let things happen rather than make them happen. And this is Mela, this is for you. Because Mela just said, I low key want to open my third eye. So
Oh,
let things happen, don't make them happen. You may experience frequent
Meditate.
attacks of smiling, feeling of being connected with others and nature, frequent overwhelming episodes of appreciation, a tendency to think and act spontaneously rather from fear based on past experiences, or an unmistakable ability to enjoy each moment. You're up, Bill.
There's Yeah, there's also a loss of ability to worry, a loss of interest in conflict. So you really don't care about drama. You really don't care about fights no more. A loss of interest in interpreting the actions of others. If somebody does you wrong, you're not trying to constantly figure out, why are they doing me wrong? You're just like, they're doing me wrong. Hi. You just let it go. So there's also a loss of self-interest in judging others. So you're not as judgy as you used to be. Hi, Ghost Switch. You're not as judgy as you used to be, and you're not as of others and yourself. And then there's also, you gain the ability to love without expecting anything. So, which is amazing. Sorry, I'm getting notifications. Sorry. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have our Q&A. But these are all questions that I wrote, though.
Yes,
So,
I mean, I didn't come up with any questions, so, and no one really submitted any questions on my thing. I had one
okay, do you
question
have
that was
questions
about
for your,
tarot and oracle, but that's not a spiritual awakening thing.
right. Okay, well, okay, sorry. So I just kind of wrote a bunch of questions. So is anybody asking questions on your end, like in the comments
Nope.
or chat or whatever? Okay, so I'll just answer my own questions. So we kind of touched over of all of this stuff a little, but maybe just quick reminders, I guess. So how do you know if you have gifts? So there, like she said, there's lots of gifts. There's clairaudience, there's clairsentience, there's clairvoyance, there's all of these things, and you will kind of just have this strong intuition. For hearing, for clairaudience, you will hear stuff. You will definitely hear things. You will hear ringing. You will hear voices. You will hear songs. You will hear lots of things. What's the one where you can see clairsentient? No, that's
Clairvoyance.
clairvoyance. When you can like see clearly, you will actually see vivid pictures. You'll have vivid dreams. You'll see the shadows. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how you know if you are gifted. But that's just a couple of them. Like most of them are kind of self-explanatory, I guess, if you know what sense they connect to.
Yeah, so
If
I
you can
would
smell
say,
smell.
with like clairsentience, this can align with being an empath, being a healer, picking up on other people's emotions and physical needs. Um, so just being in tune with other people can point to you being gifted.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And then, so I had written down what are good practices to become, more awake? How do you awaken yourself? That's kind of what Mela had asked, I think. It kind of goes along with her question. It's
Yeah, well, I
just,
mean, we covered this earlier, but Mela wasn't in here for that, so.
exactly. Both can be annoying and make you think you're going crazy,
Yeah.
100%. So gifts kind of make you think you're insane. So if you're kind of feeling that because of some otherworldly gifts you're feeling, or other worldly feelings you're getting, they're definitely gifts. But a good spiritual friend will let you know. So everything was created at the beginning of the universe. It's always where it's supposed. I don't think that comment's finished, but I'll wait for it. So good practices to becoming more awake. Meditation is 100% the first step. So you will actually see things. You might even dream them, because sometimes if you're meditating, this has happened to me a lot, where I've just fallen asleep because I'm so relaxed. I'm in a state of like just thinking, and then I'll just fall asleep. But I'll have vivid dreams about what's happening, or any messages that are sent to me specifically from my deity or my spirit guides, or any other beings that are wanting to communicate. So that's where the dreams come in. And so I don't know. I wrote all these questions down. I don't know if I really want to answer them all, but so I did write down, like, how do you meditate? So this is just a basic, and this is kind of what I do. This is my favorite one. I like to light my candles. I like to sit in a quiet room by myself. I know that you can just kind of look at the wall for a minute, like that's a meditation. But if I want to get deep into like my inner thoughts, I am meditating with YouTube or any
Yeah,
podcast that
guided
are
meditations. I love them.
that's what
When I meditate, I turn into a floating head. Like my body's just gone and I'm just like a floating head, basically.
yes, exactly. No, I feel the exact same way. I was just reading the comments.
Yes.
So,
So Daisy had said, I feel like I just learned to go and not let it take the best of me or drain my energy. You know, Lauren, I'm naturally drawn to help others, and it's so natural for me,
yeah,
and I feel good about it. So I see myself as an empath healer. Yes, that's what I picked up for you.
yeah, same,
Yeah, and honestly,
100%.
I will say that when we were on Instagram and I was like talking to you guys, my husband was like around and he heard like Daisy's voice and he's like, she sounds so sweet. She sounds like so sweet and nice. And um, he's also a Scorpio and he is also intuitive. And like
Oh my
he
God.
really knows people's intentions and when they're lying, you know, so he can tell that Daisy is just like a good,
A
sweet,
genuine
kind.
yes.
She's got that empath healer energy for sure.
I have a question here that he's asked, that 906 Ghost Switch is asking. Ever do decomposing body meditation? I have never heard of this, but now I am intrigued. It says start at your toes and work your way up. It's creepy. I'm like, ooh, creepy. That's my cup of tea. Let me try
I
that.
I have done that, but I've never
You
heard it
have?
called decomposing body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It said doja. Yeah, that's what the word is. It says decomposing body meditation. So my wife is named Daisy. They're awesome. And your granny was named Daisy too. That's what Chris Cross said. His wife's named Daisy. It's a great name. I used to do that.
So let's see. Hold on one second.
You have a cousin named Daisy. Wow.
So Daisy says, I'm good water, not a toxic one."
Oh yeah, the water signs. I love my water babes. Oh okay. Yeah. He said I forget the name of it. That's just what it is.
Cheyenne says, "I'm an empath, but I got told I'm psychic. How do I grow or learn this gift?" So, meditating, you really got to go through the awakening to be able to experience those, clairsentience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, all the clair senses. Um, So you really got to go within yourself. You got to do some shadow work. We're towards the end of our chat now, but we touched on all of this earlier. With that being said, I can possibly screen record the live replay. Maybe we should go live on Instagram instead of TikTok. So that way we
Don't say
can
that, Lauren. I worked so hard to get my 1,000 followers.
I
Instagram, you don't
know,
have to
but
have
just
any.
because like some people are gonna be like, "Oh, I missed it,"
Oh,
and
to rewatch it. To rewatch it.
yeah,
That's what you're saying. Okay. Okay.
yeah. Unless
That's
I
true.
screen recorded this and we go live on TikTok, but then we screen
Oh,
record it and I
that's
put it on that IGTV or whatever it is on Instagram.
yeah.
So maybe we can do
Deal.
that.
Yes, it is a possibility.
So what
That I will
else?
let
Um,
my ego go.
My energy moon question, my dreams come true. Is that a gift? Absolutely,
Yes.
100%. 100%. Those are premonitions. Those are psychic downloads in your dreams. This is how it
Oh my
started
gosh.
for me. This is how it really started for me. So definitely start some dream journaling. Every time you wake up, try your best to remember your dream, write it down, and see what comes true from that. Because you might not think like, oh, that was a weird dream, and then it comes true. Like, it might just be something completely like subtle that you wouldn't think was a premonition. So if
Yeah.
you have trouble remembering your dreams, as you're waking up in the morning, before you like come into like
I would love
full
that.
conscious awareness, start thinking about what was just happening in your dream and then wake up and write it down. You can also try setting an alarm at a random time to snap you awake
You're
while
right.
you're like kind of in that REM stage. So try to do those things.
Yes.
So
Dream journaling 100.
let,
I sometimes I just wake up and I write like white scissors. Like I'll just dream of the strangest things and just write it down. And then later when I come back to it,
yeah,
it'll literally all flood me. And I'm like, oh,
yes. Absolutely. Ever since I was pregnant, I still get up in the middle of the night to pee, like 4 years later.
oh,
So sometimes
dang
that'll
it,
happen,
Emmett.
like right at like a point in my dream where everything is so fresh in my head and I quickly just jot down keywords and then I go more into it. Because just seeing the keyword, like Lauren said, scissors, I'll be like, oh yeah, I was like running in a field with scissors and then a clown popped out, so I'll go back to it later and
Yes.
do that. So Yesenia says, everything was so very interesting. Do both. Okay, so she wants to see Instagram and TikTok. Both at the same time, she said, I don't have enough devices to be able to do that. Well, I mean,
Like,
I guess I do. I have other phones and stuff that are not in service, but can connect to the internet, so I could. And in fact, my ring light has two um, spots to hold a phone.
oh, two
So,
stands. Oh, I was like, I literally have to think about that for like 30 minutes. How is that possible? You're
so
on Instagram, but not.
it's all making sense now. I had a dream I ran into someone in my dream and saw that person yesterday. Yes, that was definitely a download. And then they also say that would be fun. Do it, ladies. So, okay. Lauren, you might need to create an
Thank you for the
Instagram
feedback.
for this account.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, I have Instagram, but like, okay. It's a beauty Instagram. It's different. But, anyways, yes. Sounds good. I am here for it. Unfortunately, I have got to go. I keep getting phone calls.
Yes.
Um,
Well, thank you for
so
joining me tonight.
thank you for having me.
Yes,
Continue your time. If you have anything else to say, I think we got to the end though.
that
So,
was
um,
basically all. Yeah, so bye.
okay, bye.
I'll let
I
you
don't know
go.
how to end it.
She's
All
getting
right, bye.
emergent phone calls right now. So yes, that was tonight was so fun. I was so looking forward to this and I feel like it went really well.